everyone, and welcome back. And since you're watching this video, I'm assuming you were watching my previous video where I showed you how to take apart the slide of the GSG and Sig 1911 and clean your components in there. And I mentioned about bypassing the Series 80 components. It's a safety component that's on this 1911 and others like it. And I ran out of time for that video, so that's what this video is for. I'm going to show you step by step how to remove the firing pin safety and a few other little components in there that will hopefully give you a little bit better trigger pull. Be warned, you are bypassing safety stuff, and you know you're taking the risk on your own hands, if you will. So there's my disclaimer on that. So picking up where we left off, I'm assuming you watched the previous video. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the firing pin block right here in the slide. It has to be depressed in order for the firing pin to have forward movement and set off the cartridge at the bolt face. Now, what depresses this pin right here that lets that firing pin move is some components here in the frame. But you can't take both components. You can't take one component out. You have to take both of them out. Right up here in the frame, when you pull the trigger, let me pull this back. Don't want to dry fire your gun without a slide on it. When you pull the trigger, you'll see some component pop up right there. That is going to depress that plunger in the slide that we just looked at and allow the gun to shoot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those components out here and in the slide, and we're going to replace it with a spacer. And I'll put part numbers and links to get stuff like this in the video description below. Always look at the video descriptions on my videos. I'll leave extra stuff in there for you in case you're looking for more information. Plus, you can always stop by the Facebook page as well and Google+. So, I've already removed my pin that holds this block in place. So next what we want to do is we're going to rotate the slide over. We're going to pull the bolt forward, and we're going to find that sweet spot to where it comes out. And it's going to fall right out. So now, this is our bolt with our Series 80 components. I'm going to remove this component right here. We don't need this and that spring. This is what's giving our springy action there in the bolt. So I'm going to bag this and tag it, set it off to the side so you know what it is. We're not going to need it when we put the gun back together. Next, we need to remove this little plunger deal. So we're going to raise up. Actually, we need to push this pin out right here. This is holding the firing pin in place. It should push out really, really easy. So now my hands are all greasy, so it's really hard to grasp anything. So we'll put that down there. Now our firing pin will come up. I'll reach right here with my pliers or my tweezers, and I'll pull this little plunger deal out. So at this point, those three components, the plunger and the spring and the little screw looking thing, are the components we want to bag and tag. Label them so you know what they are later on in case you want to do something with it later on. So now we'll pop the firing pin back in place. We'll take our little pin that we pushed out and we'll stick it in its place. So here is our bolt all completed. Next, we're going to have a hole right there, but don't be concerned about that. Yes, it will soak up some crud and whatnot later on down the road, but don't worry about it too much. It's not going to be an issue. So we'll put our bolt back in here now. There's the sweet spot. And I'm going to set that aside. We're not going to hammer that right now. So we need to get the frame apart here. It strips down just like your normal 1911. I have a few more videos on the GSG and replacing the mainspring housings and beaver tails and such. So if you're interested, check those videos out. I'll put links at the end of this video. So I'm going to knock out the mainspring housing. This is pretty basic stuff here that I've gone over in the previous videos, as I mentioned. I'm trying to do this without a block. Can be difficult. Alright, just got that pin out. Take our mainspring housing out. Get our leaf spring out. Take our safety out. Grip safety. And then we'll push out our hammer, pin, and then our sear and disconnector pin right here. And those components will just drop right out. So here comes our Series 80 components. Here's one, here's two. And I've done this on a full-size 1911 before. It was an older video. It's not the best quality. I'll put links here for you so you can watch that if you want. But these are the components we're going to replace. So take those, put them with your other components that came out of the bolt, tag them so you know what they are. And then we're going to take our new spacer, and it's basically going to replace these two components, these two parts. And I've cheated a little bit, I will admit. In this video that you're watching, to save time, I've already fit it. But what you're going to see, these fit in here like something to that effect. These two little pins, they're going to fit in some, well, sorry, I got it backwards, I think. Yeah, they're basically going to fit in the frame like that, but we're getting those out and we're going to put this in here. So I have fit this to this gun already. All it involved was filing off this portion right here. You notice it's all black, and this portion, that's it. Inside the frame, it's really hard for the camera to see this, or for me to show it on the camera. There's a cutout that's the same shape as this, and this is going to fit right in here. I thought I had it backwards. I thought that looked a little odd. So it fits right in that little space, in that little gap right there. And then it rides up to the front. So I was having the problem of it sitting too high. This is for demonstration purposes only. So I had to put my pins back in here with this little spacer, see how high it is, and grind that down. Just use a file, take it slow. A little bit goes a long way, because if this is riding too high, it's going to rub the slide as the slide's working on the frame. So now we've got that there. We're going to take our sear and disconnector, put those back together. You can also put a little oil on all these components. It gives it a little surface tension and keeps them stuck together. Makes it a little easier to put them together for you. See if I can get that. So we're going to drop, notice our spacer's kind of sloppily put in. We're going to put this guy right in here like so. Okay, so our sear and disconnector's in. Now I'm going to take the pin and I'm going to have to wiggle that around. So now we got a better view now that I can hold the gun at a little better angle. So I'm going to grab a hold and just kind of wiggle it with my tweezers. Find that hole. I'm already through. Now I got to move the spacer up. It's got to be able to find that hole as well. There we go. So now we got our pin through, came through on the other side. Now you can really see the spacers taking form, if you will. So it's actually in the spot it needs to be. So now we're going to take our hammer, put our hammer in, put our hammer pin in, and that's pretty much it at this point right here. You'll notice, let's go back and look at that fitting for a second. See, I ground that down pretty well so it would mate up with the top and look like one piece. So now we're pretty much done. At this point, we just put the gun back together just like any normal 1911. Put our leaf spring in, our mag well, well, in my case, mag well, and mainspring housing, and then we'll put that together. And then we snap everything together. For time constraints, I'm not going to go through the rest. I'll put videos to putting the 1911 here and a 2011 if you've never seen one of those guns as well, so you can see the rest of the detail. But for time, I'm going to limit it to this. Well, thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more competition shooting and gun reviews.